Hey guys, Key here for TheButtonSmashers.com, and this is our review for Moero Chronicles Hyper. It's been roughly about a month since my last video, and yeah, I know some of you may be thinking the reason he hasn't uploaded a video is because the last video didn't have a lot of thumbs up, but that's not actually it. The reason is I've just been really swamped. There's so much stuff that I'm working on, a lot of things that are really cool, and then I have a lot of stuff with personal stuff that's going on as well, so reviews kind of took a bit of a backseat. That being said, I've come around, I've found some time, I've put together this review, and here it is, Moero Chronicles Hyper for the Nintendo Switch. Now before we begin the review proper, allow me to just go into a little detail about some of the things in the review. Due to the game crashing, I've not finished Moero Chronicles Hyper in the traditional sense. After arriving at what I assume to be the game's final dungeon, grinding some levels, and capturing some monster girls, the game crashed on me. When shit like this happens after 45 plus hours of game time, I consider it as the game is completed. The stress of losing my progress after long grinding sessions ain't something that one can easily get over. That being said, I don't think there's much missed by not completing the final dungeon. That includes the knowledge of post-game content, which is supposedly much more difficult than the main game. So, with that information in hand, I think we're well equipped to review this game. Moero Chronicles Hyper for the Nintendo Switch is what I'd consider to be an interesting game. It's not the best in its genre, and it's certainly not without its flaws. However, the time spent with this game is arguably some of the best time I've had this year. This title is a first-person dungeon crawling RPG similar to the likes of The Lost Child, an RPG that I wholeheartedly fell in love with that made me more interested in this particular genre. The only difference between that game and this one is just that this one has much more notably lewd influences. The dungeons each have a fixed detailed design with traps, mobs, and all that other good stuff. Every dungeon has 4 to 6 main floors as well as some sealed off locations which I've come to understand are unlocked during the post game. This is all connected by a single hub town with an inn and store to cover all your needs. The inn serves as your base of operation with rooms for each of your monster girls, along with options to customize them to suit your desires. Now though this is a game that I've already dubbed as interesting, it's not a game for everyone. Most should already know if this is a game for them by looking at the artwork. If not, then allow me to spell it out for you. This is a game for adults only. It has a PEGI 18 rating for the EU and an M rating for the North American region. The responsibility for if a child plays this title rests with their parents and their parents alone. Responsible adulting aside, what else can be expected from this game? Set in a world inhabited by humans, monsters, and monster girls, Moero Chronicles Hyper teases the player with moderate amounts of payoff. In this world, something strange starts happening to all of the monster girls. Every monster girl, excluding the ones in the main town, have become hostile to humans. The main character isn't even what you'd consider a hero type, yet against his will it becomes his duty to fix the issue. After some investigation, you learn what is the cause of the issue and how to fix it. To hub the monster girls, the player must first weaken them in a traditional turn-based battle system, then perform a Robin motion minigame to capture them. Each girl requires different Robin motions across their body to capture them. Though the game encourages the use of unique gestures, I found the most effective technique to rapidly tap their weak spots till the gauge on the left filled. In a way, this is a game that I'd define as adult Pokemon. You capture monster girls, battle and train them. The plot is also serviceable enough, and the optional dialogue between monster girls add to the overall lore and appeal of the title. The combat is simple with elemental strengths and weaknesses as well as buffs and perks. There are also numerous systems in place for applying these passive buffs. the most important of which is the trait system. Each girl has up to 2 traits which can add unique effects in battle, depending on the requirement of the traits. One example is the trait Innocent. It increases the base magical defense of the character if her SP falls below 50%. These traits also come with the most interesting names I've seen in an RPG to date. Example, Cute Butt, Sundari, and Small Tits. See why this game is for adults? But I love it! As mentioned before, Moero Chronicles Hyper plays similar to other great first-person dungeon crawling RPGs. This includes a working map system which allows the player to select a position on the revealed map to have the character move to automatically. There may be random encounters while doing so, but those can also be avoided by selecting escape or using the auto battle system. Between these two options, I highly recommend the second because the game has a major difficulty spike the further you progress. In fact, it's a good idea to grind a little after completing each dungeon to at least be able to compete with the random mobs on the next one. It's also wise to include monster girls in your party that suit the dungeon you're in. Your party can consist of any 5 monster girls you've captured, and they each have their own strengths and weaknesses. Monster girls all have different outfits which act as a class system for each girl. Once you've gained enough intimacy with one of them, you'll gain the ability to switch her outfits. With each monster girl, you have up to 4 outfits to choose from. Now you'd think that they'd unlock from increasing their levels, but that's not the case. They're littered across the dungeons like standard quests and consumables. They can even be found as rewards from defeating certain mobs. Personally, I like this system, however I think it should have included single outfits that can unlock from gaining full intimacy with each girl. As it is now, the only thing you gain from increasing your intimacy with the monster girls is more dialogue and items which can be found or purchased. This cheapens the intimacy system and reduces the incentive to complete them. After completing about 3 monster girls intimacy, I stopped trying and instead focused on finding pantsuit throughout the levels. Oh, did I not mention that the outfits are either pantsuit or swimsuits? Well, they are.
体を
変な想像するんじゃないわよ。脱ぐだけなんだから。私の本当の力を委ねる代わりにちゃんと世界を元に戻しなさいよ。あんたは一応私が唯一信頼する人間なんだから。
Visually, the characters and their outfits are stunning. However, there are a few which I didn't fancy. The lolly character Azuki Ari was at the top of that list. Her design made me so uncomfortable given the type of game that this is that I purposefully reduced her level to 1 and avoided increasing her intimacy at all costs. That aside, we still got some gems like Kamaitachi, Jack-o'-lantern, and oh my god, Ellie!
She's so aggressive. I want to be your slave!
You must call me your queen.
Oh yes, my queen!
Other than the look of the monster girls, I also greatly appreciated the look of the dungeons, specifically the first and third one. I won't bother explaining why, but I'm sure you'll figure it out from the footage. Dungeons and characters are however not the only visual aspects of the game that deserves appreciation. The mobs also have interesting unique designs that you'll probably never see in any other game. From a boob UFO to what I can only describe as a sentient lady toy, this game almost doesn't hold back. Almost. The monsters also serve a more practical role as pets to buff the monster girls during battle. This is due to an automatic occurrence that happens after most battles. Some monsters are captured and can be used for either crafting or pets. Now I'm not going to delve into the crafting system because as far as I'm concerned it's really shallow, but there's something else that I want to talk about, and that's the mascot character named Uton. He joins your team pretty early in the adventure and he's a bit of a dick, both literally and figuratively speaking. Uton does however serve a purpose as he does offer added attacks if weaknesses are exploited, and he's the one who facilitates the capture of the monster girls. He's also got a damn fine voice if I do say so myself. All the characters do, and it helps that the entire game is fully voiced in Japanese. It really brings the world and characters to life.
マジかわいい。
え、俺のこと？
そうだよ、君。
俺の名はオットン。さすらいのパンティハンターだぜ。
As for how this game plays, the controls are what you'd expect, with D-pad, joystick, and touch controls on the Nintendo Switch. These options serve as exactly that. options. You can alternate how you play on the fly without need to change anything in the menus. A prime example is the bump scratch minigame used to capture the monster girls. It favors the touch input but also functions well with joystick and buttons for playing the game while the switch is in the dock. Dialogue can also be revised and hidden via the touch of a button. These may seem like small things, but trust me when I say players notice stuff like this. These quality of life additions improve the player experience by allowing them to play however they may desire. Add in the room building system to gain passive XP on monster girls you don't use, and you have a game that greatly favors player choice.
だって女の子が訪ねてきたかと思ったのに男だったんだもん。精神的に軽くダメージだよ。
君、本当に女の子が好きなんだな。君も女の子なのに。
女の子が女の子を好きで何が悪いの？だって女の子って可愛いでしょ？女の子って柔らかいでしょ？それに女の子ってなんかいい匂いするし。くんかくんかしたい。
So with all that I've had to say so far about this game, here's my final verdict. All in all, Moero Chronicles Hyper is a game that I think will appeal to the P-Life peeps out there who I wholeheartedly respect with every fiber of my being, excluding you lolly fans of course, who actually think that Azuki Ari is a good character. You guys are degenerates. You disgust me. So is this the best P-Life game out there? No, that's obviously Senran Kagura Estival Versus. Is it the worst? Hell no. This game will easily set you back some insane time and reward you for it. It is a solid entry in this genre and I highly recommend picking it up if you're a first-person dungeon crawling RPG fan and happen to not be afraid of the animated visualization of the female body in all its appeal. Thank you very much for watching this review of Moero Chronicles Hyper. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to leave us a like and a comment in the comment section below, and if you'd like to see more content like this from us, make sure to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll always know when we put up new content.